Hello and welcome. This is going to be another daily Dharma. I hope that you can hear me all right. We are on location, on vacation. So I hope that you all enjoy this little bit of paradise here in the background. I'll give you a little panorama towards the end so that you guys can check out the landscape and the ambiance. We're going to start out with one of our new decks here. All the names of the decks will be listed below if you need. Let's stop there and see what's on the bottom. Number 15, adrift in shallow water. Take a few deep breaths and reconnect to your inner peace. Notice the small things and appreciate them. This beautiful sea turtle. And on the back, let's take one back here. Number 18, clearing the excess. You are entering a transitional phase and would benefit from clearing away excess clutter, whether it's in your physical body or in your physical space. So clearing the excess seems to be simplifying whatever you're dealing with. Let's see what else wants to come out. Let's move into the code cards here on the bottom of the deck. 41 Synergy. I have pre-shuffled, but let's shuffle just a little bit on camera to satisfy all the doubters. We had some popping out. Now we have on the bottom number 36, Prosperity. I love to see that one. As you know, the frequency of prosperity supports our feeling of well-being by allowing the inclusion of everything that makes our body, mind, heart, and soul and spirit sing. It invites us to express ourselves in joy and celebration of the abundance and riches that the universe provides. And the card that flew out was number 42, Tantric Journey. Speaking of that celebration of abundance, the frequency of Tantric Journey helps us to unlock the hidden knowledge and wisdom that we intrinsically hold about how to reach a state of wholeness and completion through our sensual experiences with ourselves and with another. So if you don't have any chicka wow in your life, this is really talking about the ability to appreciate those things that happen in the shallow water or the superficial level, like just the weather, the nice breeze, even if it's a cool and crisp day, the air and the wind is able to almost wash away, similar to water when it flows past us. So here I'm seeing it's like clearing away the excess is almost like the extraneous information in our heads and all of those anxieties or worries that we may get stuck in. We may be drifting through the shallow waters without appreciating the amazing nuances, like the scents and the smells of a beautiful flower as we pass by it. Not everybody has the presence of mind to appreciate those things, and taste and touch and smells and sight and sound. I mean, it's very noisy here, but it's such a glorious noise when you hear the chatter of children giggling and laughing and even sometimes screaming, which can get irritating. But if you can tune in below that, it's like the symphony of life happening. It's in the flow of existence, and it is a miraculous experience. And that tantric journey is like both the above and below commingling and creating the impact within us, and how does that hit us. And in the shallow water, sometimes if we're irritable, that shallow water can really express to us that we're feeling stressed out, where otherwise, if we're able to just come up for some air into the shallows instead of in the depths of whatever experience we've been immersed in, it's almost the ability to cast off those complex issues that weigh us down into the depths. And taking the few deep breaths and reconnecting to inner peace can sometimes bring us back into a completely different experience. We have consciousness, number 17, and we've already got the 18 as it falls on top. 37, realization. A couple more here. 35, perception. The realization of what we're perceiving and how it's hitting, and our ability to tap into joy, delight, number 19. So we have 17, 18, 19. Oh, and 15. Yeah, and 35, 36, and 37. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So our ability to perceive of our abundance is really it's really caught up in whether we're able to disconnect from all of the invitations to stress out and to find some kind of nuance to focus on. What are we focused upon? Like, for instance, we just walked quite a distance to go have breakfast, quite a distance back, and then the room key doesn't work. It's demagnetized, and we haven't been here long. We haven't done much with it. But, I could have been irritated. Oh, how dare these people? But, nobody had anything to do with the demagnetization of the room key. It's I could have been upset. I could have pitched a fit. But why? I mean, really? Look around at everything here. It's like, it's not about the walk. It's about the ability to let those things wash away, to be cast upon the winds of change, and just let that shift, let that move. And I know that not all things are that simple, but sometimes dwelling in the depths of every little thing just takes us away from our inner peace. And I love that the manta ray here is shown up. I brought this oceanic deck on purpose because I knew we'd be in this little paradise here. Yeah, the manta ray catches my attention, and I'm not sure exactly what it wants to tell us yet, but we'll get back to that. And the fact that we have those sequential numbers, very interesting. Let's get into this one here. All right, first card popping out. Birthing. So it seems to me that a new experience is coming to the fore. Something's trying to show itself to us, some type of new, exciting adventure or opportunity for prosperity. Below that is Gaia. It's like the appreciation of the natural wonders of the world. Even if we can't get away from our home and environment there, it's easy to take our everyday for granted. But if we can, it's recognize all of those everyday miracles. And I know that sounds kind of cheesy and easy for one person to say, but the realization of consciousness and perception of delight is like the ability to tap into the everyday beauty in those everyday miracles. It really creates a huge shift for us at a very deep inner level for ourselves. I'm seeing power at the bottom of the deck, birthing our potential and greater power source within ourselves. It's the power to change circumstances through our ability of what we're tapping into, what we're paying attention to. It's like our ability to create well-being is the prosperity that's number one here for me, and the power of our attention. There's something right at the back of my mind that wants to come out, but it's the power of our perspective unlocks our ability to be more peaceful and happy. We get contact. mediumship. I like that one a lot. In the camera, I'm seeing something a little different than what I see in the card when I look at it. It looks almost as though there's a face image here, almost like a gothic, dark, angelic presence here. And dark doesn't necessarily mean evil, as some would say, but it's moving and shifting as I look at it. Contact and mediumship. And then, two more here. Shifting our perspective into appreciation and gratitude here helps us to be not only on the physical, alchemical inner landscape, it's helping us to heal our health, literally, and to create immunity to the circumstances of stress, because with delight, we have less cortisol running through our bloodstream. But also it's like, by shifting our perspective and our consciousness to happy and healthy and productivity, instead of getting immersed in lack, loss, or frustration or stress, it can really help us to attract better situations. And so it's almost like when you approach a customer service individual and ask them with kindness, they're more willing to assist you than those customer service people that have dealt with a bunch of awful people all day long. And then we walk up and have a complaint. They're not as willing and compelled to assist us. And so it seems quite simple to say, but harder to actualize when we're in a habit pattern of frustration. But the more that we take the opportunities to move away from frustration and look to not the silver lining, but the potential and the ability to work with the factors at hand. And then there's also something coming up. There's this contact and mediumship here with that, even the idea of the customer service representatives, like, or whether it's in your situation some type of meeting or a heavy discussion that needs to be scheduled and you need to take part in. It's in this moment of connecting with other individuals, we have this psychic mediumship potential to understand what's necessary in the situation. And we can be frustrated, we can have better things to do, but when we actually utilize our energy proactively, we have a better outcome. And I know this sounds simple. What's under power? Return of spirit. I like that in this situation. It's like this yellow kind of comes up. Or does it? It's like a meeting in the middle. Meeting, I already said meeting. Contact from this and this coming into the center here. I'm not sure how this is feeding into your situation. Rejuvenation. Or and change of mind. This green looks like this shifting. Yeah, shifting and change of mind. Look at that color palette here. Being able to shift our perspective in the moment, to change our mind from being frustrated to something that's more useful in the moment, is going to potentially help us quite a bit to move through this. So, belief, universal love, Gaia, prosperity. I wish I had all of my cards. I definitely do, because I like to get a little more information. But I can see that there's there's a new way that we're being able to utilize our gifts and perspectives to connect with other people in our day-to-day, whether they're people that we have ongoing contact with, like friends, family, coworkers, whatever you are dealing with. But then there's also these strangers and the ability to witness other people's personalities and perspectives even. I'm thinking of someone that we met yesterday on one of our tours where this individual was very supportive. The tour guide was talking and thanking us for our time, and she says, "Oh, well, thank you. You did a great job with this," like that beautiful kindergarten teacher that is so supportive. "Oh, that's a beautiful crayon drawing, little child. You did such a great job." And it's like, it seems a little patronizing, but I'm thinking of one of the cards that I have at home that says, everyone is really wanting for your approval. And that same tour guide, at one of the times we're waiting in line, I was asking him, did you have to learn all of that because of this job, or do you have an interest in the history of the location? And he talked about how, he has a specific thing and how he had to do his research. And I was like, well, great. It's very informative and very appreciated. And, even though it doesn't seem like a deep conversation, it was very surface level or shallow waters being exchanged. It means the world to some people, and we don't need to understand the impact that it might have to share our kindness. We have the power. It just moved something for me when I looked at the power and tantric journey card here. It's like, we have the power, such an enormous power, to birth a new level of consciousness into being. With every little flap of our butterfly wings, the angelic wings, the darkness that we have felt has allowed us to understand that other people they're masking some needs, and I could have picked on this guy. It was kind of comical perhaps to myself and my daughter. We were listening, and he kept saying supposedly over and over. We could have sat there and counted them, and I'm sure he said it 50 times, and it often came out posedly or posably. And it wasn't because of any reason, but it's something that other people can think and perceive of it, but that they are not perceiving. But do we really need to focus on what people do wrong when there are so many things that they did right? And I don't know how this feeds into your situation, but with this rejuvenation card, when I pulled the mediumship card out front, I just looked down and it looked like rejection. So it's perhaps our human potential can be very critical here to shift a lot of situations, whether it's, what am I getting at? Something about what we think is humorous and creates some type of delight, perhaps, like, oh, isn't that funny how this person did such and such? It's also separating the potential for that fine line between humor and picking on another individual, and whether or not we are speaking this to that person's face or behind their back or in our head. It's like the way that we focus on things can really change our own inner ability to tap into our complete power and to go below the surface level of our power and capacity to not only validate or be grateful and thankful for those situations, and then the way that hits us on the internal. our power can really sit deeply into heart, mind, spirit, and body. Isn't that here? This change of mind changes and shifts our delight from those real superficial and perhaps even um, derisive, is that the right word to use for this situation, where we get our enjoyment from things that are not healthy. Uh, and I'm also seeing, I don't know why I'm seeing this, but this clearing the excess with the manta ray, I put the birthing card right over the top of that, and they were talking about how the manta ray spends about 11 months in gestation, in pregnancy, before birthing the baby, and it's like they have an egg for, I think they said 9 months, and then the last 2 months the egg has already been born, but it's still being held and um, carried around by the mother before being birthed, and it births like a wound up burrito, he said. And then when it flaps open, it can already be 150 to 200 pounds, if you can believe it. And then the baby's on its own. And I'm not sure what possible connection that might have to this reading at this point, but something about what we're birthing for self and other. We may be holding on to different things longer than we think, or I don't know what that really means, but there's something more, clearing the excess, a transitional phase, and then we have shift and change of mind. So entering that transitional phase, we can benefit from clearing away excess clutter in the physical body and the physical space. I just looked up and saw 2222 on a counter. So clearing away the shallow waters here seems to be clearing away what we perceive, the negativity. And if we're feeling depressed or heavy or stuck in a situation, we can definitely benefit from cleansing and clearing our mental capacity from, perhaps it's even the burden of, and I use burden very lightly, the burden of our responsibilities, such as our family responsibilities. And the last few days, oh, and by the way, today, at the time of this recording, is the lunar eclipse in Libra, which is very pertinent, and that comes to mind because I was about to talk about mothering. The last few days, I've been watching. I love to watch people, and not. I used to watch people in a lot of judgment in my younger years, probably based in a lot of early challenges. I'll leave it at that. We've all had our challenges. But it seems to be, what's coming to my attention is, I said to my daughter, you can always tell the mother, because somebody will drop something, or everybody gets up from the restaurant table and just walks away. And then here you see the mother going around and pushing in the chairs. She's not the waitress. Is it conditioned? Is it really mothering? And this morning at breakfast, I saw this little child running around, mommy, mommy. She was lost from her family, and it literally, it moved me so much as a mother. I felt her so deeply, and I was tearing up. And it's not like she's going to be lost. The parents aren't going to leave without her. She was just a little adorable little girl. But it's like, can we really tap into those deeper emotions? And there's something about motherhood with the moon energy here, where we're so busy cleaning up after people. And there's this idea, perhaps, coming about our ability to pursue our delight and our happiness and well-being, or are we so busy caretaking and making sure that everybody else is enjoying themselves, meanwhile at our own expense? So I think that for some of us here, part of that adrift in shallow water is that on that superficial level, it's like, yeah, we're just doing our duty, we're doing what we have to do, but we have the power to change and to model the appropriate respect that should be afforded and gifted to the matriarchs, to the mothers, to the maidens, the crones. Look at all of these beautiful women, and yeah, masculine as well. But today it's about the mother. I have not as much idea about why the messages come in, but I can trust and appreciate that that's the thing here, because we've got birthing, immunity, shifting, change of mind. It's like we're so worried about everybody else's health and well-being that then we forget to respect ourselves and therefore almost create the perspective that we should be taken for granted. And those mothers that are tucking in the chairs are the ones that are really, it's time for you to pull that power into your own self. And I'm also seeing this power card with, is it an abalone shell? There's some color here, I don't know if you can see it, but that shell, underneath that eternal spirit star seed. So yeah, I feel like I'm dancing around some type of idea. I want to let's get one more from this ocean deck off the back, I think. Diving into new depths. Does that not fit with this situation and this card here? Adrift in shallow waters. Now we have the number 2, diving to new depths. There's a deeper meaning to what is happening. You might be looking at this from the surface and missing what's really going on. Take a moment to pause and to breathe. Allow yourself to dive deeper into what it is you're feeling about your current situation. And I'm sensing that this is, with the number 2 card, the mirroring, the duality about what is our burden, what's our responsibility, and what is our blessing. Shifting from what can I get you, what can I do for you, how can I serve you? Service is divine, it's a blessing, it's amazing, but it cannot happen from an empty cup. And I had to tell somebody this recently, and they knew it. We ultimately all know it, but how often would we sacrifice our well-being to care for those that we love so much? And it's that same thing that they talk about on the airlines. You have to put your own oxygen mask on first, because when you put your own mask on, then you can go around and help infinite people with theirs, perhaps symbolically, not in a real situation. However, if you don't put yours on and you get somebody else's on, then if you struggle with theirs, then you run out of oxygen, then there's 2 people who can't make it out. So there's something about not only modeling that for others, especially for the daughters, but then I'm also hearing especially for the sons, because we have the power to change this entire world with just the ability to care for ourselves in a new way. And that feels really powerful. So on a happier note, I will let's get one more card from the code card decks. Okay, we'll take those. It is no accident the Divine Feminine just popped out. Crown Chakra. And it's a change of mind, a change of perspective. And coming out, we have a few cards. The Divine Feminine. Coherence. 13, the death of the old and the ability to understand and comprehend the changes necessary for the new understanding, a new resonance. And perhaps this is not being taken for granted in your partnership, family, workplace dynamics and dilemmas. This ability to be respected and understood and have people resonate with you is perhaps part of standing up for yourself and respecting yourself. Dynamic, we already talked about dynamics a little bit, but something is shifting and moving, and if you're aggravated, if you're feeling overwhelmed, taken for granted, the surface might look like aggravation and frustration, but what's making you short-tempered? Is it lack of sleep? Is it disrespect? Or is it the need to stop caretaking and overextending your energies and to take those back into yourself and feel the full ability to take care of yourself? And then we have that solar plexus chakras really showing me the power, confidence, courage, and creative ability to caretake for self and to make sure to give yourself that full capacity by caretaking for yourself, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. And if you're an energy worker, a healer, or anything, the number one rule is to ask Spirit to fill you and heal you to capacity, to fill up your cup so that you may do your work from a place of fullness and not depletion. Spirit does not want a bunch of people that are depleted. We can only heal others to the extent that we're willing, able to heal and nurture the self. Healing. There are creative new ways that we can heal ourselves, and one of those ways is by saying no. That is the deepest service that sometimes we can offer. Let's just honorable mention to enabling and codependence. The best way to heal others can sometimes be to say, nope, it's my time. Locking the bathroom door, going and sitting in your car in the garage and closing yourself in so that you can just have a second. I don't know what you need to do, but you definitely need to prioritize your own health, healing, and well-being in order that you can heal the world with everything that you are. So make connection and contact with your own inner spirit in a deep, profound way today in some type of a method. So I am at the end of my recording potential here and capacity. So let's give you a little view of this paradise here. We are in Waikoloa Village. And there we go. So amazing. We can even see some of the volcano in the back. It's kind of cloudy. I hope you enjoy. If you need more, go ahead and check out our other timeless messages. And if this is where we part,